James Dorsey is a senior fellow at the Middle East Institute of the National University in Singapore. James, good to see you. First of all, what do you make of this or another meeting between Antony Blinken and Benjamin Netanyahu? Neither really has shifted their position.
Well, I think essentially the United States continues to put pressure on Israel, is not willing to attach punitive measures to that pressure, at least not so far, but is clearly not in favor of a Rafah operation. The problem is that Rafah may be make or break for Prime Minister Netanyahu. With other words, he doesn't have that much to show beyond the destruction in Gaza for the 6 or 7 month now war effort. He hasn't destroyed Hamas. He hasn't been able to liberate hostages held by Hamas, except for by negotiation and by ceasefire. And Hamas clearly still is an operating force within Gaza. Those were his three war goals. And so Rafah is designed to finally try and achieve those goals, which would involve, he would be able to claim victory if indeed he were successful in killing or capturing the top leadership in Gaza of Hamas, which he has not been able to do, perhaps with one exception. And if he were able to literally take or prevent Hamas from playing whack-a-mole with Israeli forces, with other words, popping up every time the Israeli forces withdraw from an area.
So what do you think is Benjamin Netanyahu's strategy here? Is it to hold out and keep saying, I'm going to invade Rafah, but not actually go through with it, maybe eke it out until we get to the election in the States at the end of the year? Or is he maybe going to carry out a limited ground invasion? He certainly has to do something at some point.
Sure, but he's caught between a rock and a hard place, if you wish. On the one hand, he's under serious international pressure. Add to that you could argue that the clouds circling Israel and Netanyahu are becoming ever more darker, with 3 international investigations, international court investigations, and the U.S., even if, again, it's not attaching punitive sanctions to that, noting human rights violations of various Israeli military units. And on the other hand, he has a far-right coalition. His potential way out would be, or in fact, he doesn't really have a way out, because his only other way out would be a deal, a grand bargain in the Middle East, but that would imply a resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which again would bring an end to his government.
So, what, time's up for Benjamin Netanyahu, in your opinion?
I think that's too early to say. Netanyahu is a cat with 9 lives, and you underestimate him or write him off at your peril. But he certainly is in one of the most difficult spots he's been in his career.
Really appreciate your time, James. Thank you so much. James Dorsey there, a senior fellow at the Middle East Institute of the National University of Singapore.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.